fight that deserves our attention is it's a potential fight, so we can't really talk about it in the same way.
It's happening. It's happening.
Khabib
It's happening.
versus it's Khabib versus Georges St. Pierre. The two respected.
I think we can both agree that they're the
MMA.
best two ever. No?
Yes, I would say so.
GSP and Khabib are on another level.
So.
I think John Jones would be in that conversation with a few less allegations and a few more wins at heavyweight when he actually goes up. If he wins the heavyweight belt, then I'll happily revert my decision. But I think I don't see that happening. He had potential, but
he's staying at light heavyweight.
But in terms of sheer dominance...
Well, Khabib and GSP
like
fought killers. I mean, nothing against the people in the lightweight division. But you've got Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, versus, Dominic Reyes? And then John Jones is fighting Dominic Reyes and Anthony Smith, who's currently losing at middleweight. It's just not comparable at all, I don't think, the opposition. So I think Khabib and GSP are the top two.
Yeah, but it's hard to judge who's going to win because they're both two different fighters, two different styles. George is an all-round master. You watch his fights, he can do everything. He's like I said before on the last one, his head kicks are insane. His kicking game is incredible, but he's an all-round fighter. He can grapple on the floor. But if the ground goes to the floor, if the fight goes to the ground, there's only one way I see that.
Really?
I only see Khabib. Yeah, because everybody who's come up against Khabib has been dismantled. He doesn't look like a strong guy, but the way he manhandles.
George St. Pierre is known as one of the best. I would agree with you, but I don't think you can discount him that easily. I think GSP is known as one of the best wrestlers the UFC's ever seen. So that would be the most interesting part of it. Who wins that individual battle on the floor? No. Yeah.
I think Khabib wins it, but he doesn't keep him down. Like, when we've seen
he's
before,
ragdolled every opponent he's ever fought.
Minute and a half in, putting someone on the ground, and then for that entire round they're on the floor. I don't think that happens, but I think when Khabib gets him on the ground, he'll do some damage. And obviously, I think George will want to stay up as much as he'll back his wrestling.
You don't take Khabib down because what he's shown against
striking.
Justin Gaethje. What Khabib's shown in his last fight against Dustin Gaethje, he's not just on top.
Yeah.
On the bottom as well. He literally got Gaethje in a choke, dropped to his back, gave Gaethje the dominant position and tapped him out. Like, that was incredible.
I know that was the best bit of wrestling I've seen in the
immense.
UFC. The way he got that in and then he just locked it out, and Gaethje was just there was nothing you could do.
Did you hear what Khabib said after the fight about the submission? He was like, "Oh, I saw Gaethje's mum and dad in the crowd, so instead of breaking his arm, I just choked him out so it'll be over quickly." He swapped from an armbar to a guillotine just so he wouldn't break his arm in front of his parents.
Yeah, but do you know what that is? Do you know why that is? That is because MMA is not about trash talking.
Respect, mate.
It is not about trash talking. It is about respect.
Oh God.
Okay, and
getting the Dagestan.
I think there's one thing we can all agree on the George St. Pierre fight and the George St. Pierre Khabib fight is that we want it to happen. So Dana, you are watching this. I know you are. Make it happen. We all want to see it.
Make it happen.
I would give you 50 quid to watch that. I'd give you 100 quid. Nothing above 100 quid.
Can I ask who do you think's the favourite? Can I ask that? Who do you think the favourite in the fight?
Khabib.
I think Khabib just on.
4-year layoff, 3-year layoff. I think last fight against Bisping.
GSP's been out for a while, so we know exactly what. Yeah, exactly. So we know exactly what Khabib's capable of right this moment. We don't know what GSP's capable of right now. We know what he was.
I would have Khabib to win that fight.
It'll be interesting to see, but I think Khabib's probably got to be the favourite.
But I see it being a great fight.
I'd have Khabib as the favourite, and I think Khabib wins it because George has been beaten before, but it's not a fair reflection because he came back and he smashed those two opponents. I can't remember who they were, but I just know he smashed them again. So he's just. I'm not as good as on the UFC. You can probably tell that. Let's be honest.
He fought when he lost his fight. When he lost his belt, he wasn't ready yet. He was coming in young, and I think he got starched. But then he came back and avenged that loss when he was ready and was built, and he absolutely put on a clinic. And I think that's something that Khabib hasn't. When you're talking about the GOAT debate, you're talking about the greatest of all time. I think Khabib hasn't needed to do that, but also it shows heart of a champion that you can go fight the guy that you lost to, and absolutely starch him after and learn from your mistakes. Something that Khabib hasn't had to do because he's too good. It's a very interesting debate.
But then,
yeah, go on.
But then he's never had to do that.
Yeah.
That just shows for me his champion's heart, because he's never, ever had
that
to
shows
do
how
that.
dominant
Every
he is.
single fight. We saw it with Tyson Fury. It's so, once you get to that top level and you've achieved your dreams, you've given your life to the sport, you've given your life to get that at one moment, and you get it, it can seem like an absolute anticlimax. And I think it was kind of the same with Conor. He won those belts, and then he thought, well, I want to go on to the next thing. Khabib's gone. I've won this belt. I'm defending it with my life, right? And he's gone in every single time and defended that belt. And I think that shows more of a champion's heart than that, because it's very easy to come back from. We all know if somebody has one over on you, you want to get one over on them. That's human instinct, right? I think it's really hard when you're at the top to keep being the top. It's so hard to keep greatness, which is why you got to respect people like Lewis Hamilton, Tiger Woods, all
been at
these
the top
people
for so
who are
long.
elite sportsmen who are been at the top for so long, but keep still at the top, or have been at the top for a long time after they've actually achieved what they wanted to. So
also think about how much value that one, like a name on their fighting record would be. Imagine if GSP goes and beats Khabib, 2 belts in 2 divisions, came back again, beat Bisping for the middleweight belt, and then fighting Khabib and beating him. Imagine the value that would provide to his name. And the same with Khabib. If he fought GSP, his name skyrockets. It'll be uncomparable to Conor's superstardom if he goes and beats GSP. I think it'll be incredible for either of them.
I think in the MMA community, yes, but the reason a lot of us watch MMA is because of Conor. I'm an absolute sucker for that, right? I watched it because Conor was being dominant. He was talking the talk, walking the walk. He was the Ronaldo of UFC. That's the only reason I got into it. I'd always been watching boxing, the odd match, but UFC I'd only really got into with Conor. But so I think Conor he's one of these stars. He's a bit like the Kobe Bryants, the Ronaldos. He transcends his sport. So within his sport, Khabib definitely has more clout. I hate using that word, but he has more clout. He has more clout in terms of the MMA world, but in terms of sport, stardom, fame, celebrity status, Conor goes unmatched in MMA, and he probably will.
I would agree.